Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you go check out the Discord channel, completely free to join. I have linked it at the top of the chat. It's pinned there so you can't miss it. Check it out for free discount opportunities closer to launch, and of course, discussing trade ideas. I share trade ideas there as well, and so do other people. So feel free to join that if you haven't done so already. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Philip, good morning. Hope you're well. I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good as well. Yes, we'll take a look at gold and JPY pairs, no problemo. What is up, more? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Look on Discord. Okay, I'll take a look. See, and you too, as always, my man. Hope everything is well. Manny, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. FX Wolf, good morning. Hope you're doing good as well. I'm still patiently waiting for tomorrow to see what happens. Yes, it will be an interesting day tomorrow. I mean, I think this is just an interesting week in general for all the news coming out. Dollar, yen, pound as well, euro. So yeah, it will be very interesting. Although USD/JPY and Euro Yen are pairs on my watches, which I'm looking to trade. FX Wolf, yeah. I mean, it's up to what Yen wants to do, really. What's up, Holy One of Israel? Hope you are doing good. So yeah, I mean, we'll start with gold and silver. I mean, gold and yen pairs. So gold, I was keeping an eye on gold. Still looking for longs, but nothing quite set up for my liking yesterday. We did see some downside, which we were anticipating. I was hoping this down move could continue a little bit longer. Unfortunately, it kind of stalled halfway, and it's looking a bit awkward right now. I would still expect to see another follow through to the downside for gold. I do think we can see a bit more downside to push back into the lows there. The areas I did say I do expect gold to see some upside from, this level being the first area, which we were holding on to initially. And if that level doesn't hold on another retest, then I'm looking at 23.40 as well. So something like this is what I've got my eyes on. Anything else I'm not really interested in. So shorts, or if we do move higher, not really can do much with that. Although if we do see a push higher, I do think we'll come back down. So I do think the sells is the best bet for now for gold until we start coming back to some of these prices here. So if you do push to the upside, I will look for shorts, mostly on silver. But if we do push up, I would expect us to come back down. This is my bullish territory. So I'm not looking to do anything bullish, looking for any longs until we start coming back into 23.70 at least and below. And then I'll look to see what happens. But yeah, gold, we did see a bit downside yesterday. We're talking about this area here. It did end up holding it. I was expecting to see a move higher first before the drop, but gold decided it wanted to drop without that push. We had a bit of a pullback kind of towards the end of the day / agent session. Now London was starting to tip bearish a little bit. I do think we can still fall over. We might push a little bit higher first before that move down, but I do fancy some more downside there for gold. And then and then we can discuss some longs after that move down. But beforehand, this is still kind of bearish territory for me, at least on the lower time frames. Okay, so I'll go take a look at some yen pairs as well. I'm very interested in the yen pairs this week. What's up, Ojo? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I've been saying gold bullish for weeks, but I mean, we did, well, I've been talking about gold buys for a while, but we did see that move here, which I failed to catch there. But now we're kind of going for another correction. So I'm still expecting the same move for gold to the upside. But what I am saying after this wick on the weekly chart is that the buys aren't so convincing as they were before. And there's a good chance that we kind of just stay within this consolidation, maybe spike higher one more time. But there's a good chance we actually kind of fall over based on the recent price action we've had in the weekly chart. So it's not looking as good anymore for buys. I'm still looking for the buys because as we push low, this is more bullish territory. So I expect buys to be coming in, sellers to be taking profit. So this is bullish territory for me. But I'm not necessarily looking for a swing all the way back to the high because we're having such a hard time when we do these moves. As you can see, big move there, push back down, move there, push back down. So this is not the sign of a really healthy trend on the higher time frames. It's a sign of a corrective one. And typically corrective trends do eventually come to an end and do have a big sell-off. So I do think gold buys do still look good at these prices down here. But again, being a little bit more conservative with the targets based on how prices are moving. We're not moving so cleanly anymore in terms of this bullish trend. It's definitely quite tight at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold. Okay, so let me go through some yen pairs. So yeah, I'm still looking at dollar yen, euro yen, and CAD yen as my three better yen pairs, which I'm looking to trade. Dollar yen was very, very close to coming into my area this, I was going to say this week, but we still got most of the week left yesterday. Well, actually, no, this morning. Very, very close coming into my area this morning, but just missed out on it. I'm still looking for shorts, but I would hope we can get a little bit more upside. And then I'll be looking for some shorts maybe this afternoon or maybe tomorrow morning. We'll have to wait and see. But we've had some real strong rejection down here. You can see on the daily chart, a bunch of wicks here. So the market is definitely finding a bit of a fall right now on the daily chart. So I don't want to short directly into that. So if you can push a little bit higher, maybe take out some early sellers, and then that will be the move I'm looking to short as long as we kind of stay within, that kind of parameter there, lower, high, looking for the next one. So I'm going to see a bit more upside there for dollar yen, and then I'll be looking for shorts again. And as I've been mentioning, this would be the target, this massive level over here, which as you can see is previous resistance, big rejection down the weekly chart, there again as well. We'll look to sell it back to that line. So something like, let me just clean up the chart because it's very, very messy right now. So something like this, push up, spike into that area, some sells back into that low, and then probably some buys as well. I'm looking to see if I can play it both sides for dollar yen and the other yen pairs I mentioned as well. But yeah, dollar yen looking for some shorts around 155, 500. So waiting patiently for that. Just missed it this morning. Hopefully we can see another stab higher, and then look for some shorts later on. So yeah, maybe this afternoon or maybe tomorrow. But we're not too far away from it. So getting ready, getting warmed up for some shorts there in dollar yen. Euro yen, I'm looking at a similar opportunity as well. Again, I want this one to push a little bit higher, and then I'll look for some sells as well for dollar yen for a move back down to that low. I realize we are kind of trading in this level here, but I would like price to kind of stab a little bit higher because this was a reaction from last week. So I would like price to kind of push a little bit higher than that and then get the sell. Again, taking out maybe some early sellers, some stop losses above here that will be taken out, and then possibly a nice move down because this was a really, really aggressive move there for euro yen. So the chances is that this bullish move is likely going to be a correction, a retracement of that for price to sell off. So it's all about timing and getting a good entry. So staying patient with that. We are trading in that level, but I do think we could probably spike through it, especially with this wick here as well. So I'm kind of waiting to see if euro yen can go and do that and then get a nice sell again, maybe this afternoon or maybe tomorrow morning or whenever it forms. But it's pretty close to forming how I want it to. Same thing for dollar yen. CAD yen's got a bit of a way to go. I'm looking at sells on the retest of this low here, which is 112,980. So we're not quite near there. Yeah, that would be my area of interest for CAD yen shorts. And we still got a bit of a way to go. So in terms of dollar yen and euro yen, we're very close to possible entries. So I'm keeping a very close eye on them. CAD yen, although I really like this one as well in terms of how everything is situated and the momentum and how we're looking on the higher time frames, looks really, really good. It's just that still might be a day or two away before getting to that level for a short. And when it does get there, then we can discuss the selling opportunities. But for now, not really interested because we're not trading at that level. And frankly, most of the yen pairs are looking at a similar thing: a move higher, then a move back down. It's just use JPY, Euro yen, and CAD yen just look the cleanest to me. So that's kind of where my focus is. Same thing for New Zealand yen. I think we'll move up before we move down. Aussie yen, I think we'll move up before we move down as well. It's just about timing, not getting in too early or too late. What's up, podcasty? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Chris, what is up? Good day. I'm doing good. Hope you are well as well. Good morning, Rick. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. So I was speaking a lot about pound USD yesterday. There was a bit of a reaction for this one. I wasn't sold on it completely. We did push up a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, not much has changed. We had a bit of reaction there, and then we kind of sluggishly moved up. So this move here still looks really corrective for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be another lower high for another push down. I am very bullish on pound, so I am kind of only looking for buy opportunities. If I quickly scoot to the daily chart, again, this is the structure I'm looking to follow. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Looking for another correction for the impulse to the upside as we come back to retest prior resistance over here, which hopefully will be turned support. So very, very simple stuff, but effective stuff here for pound. So looking for longs to see if I do catch that next high low. Yeah, looking for some entries. I was discussing this level yesterday. I had a really strong sell-off into that level, so I wanted to see some strong rejection. Didn't really happen. It was kind of a minor reaction from there, and it still is kind of a bit sluggish. So maybe if you have one more sell back down, reject it again, this time a bit more aggressively, maybe leave a wick, that could there be my entry on the double bottom and possibly some buys from then on. So I'm still very, very interested in pound USD. Haven't entered the market yet, but it hasn't been clean. But yeah, that is the swing I'm still looking for. I think it's still pretty likely. I'm still kind of on the fence of dollar because I've been talking about bullishness for dollar. We have kind of seen the bullishness already this week. I was talking about pushing to the low here. We haven't quite got there yet, although it does look like dollar is struggling a little bit. And I'm seeing the rejection here as well. It's not looking too good for dollar. So maybe dollar does take a dive this afternoon and then maybe push back up again. And then, yeah, maybe we take a bigger dive later on. But yeah, DXY is definitely finding it really, really hard right now. A lot of rejection. That looks like a nice double top to me. So I do think we'll see a bit of weakness now for dollar. The next question is, how long will that weakness last? Will it be something like this, or will it be something like this? Again, as traders, we can't really predict too much and try and say what we think the market's going to do too much. Got to be quite reactive, especially when it's these type of conditions there on DXY, which is there's no kind of clear direction. If this was in a trending market, say for example, these conditions here, then it's much easier to have your bias, have your expectations in the market, because see if that trend's going to continue or it's not. So it's very, very black and white in these conditions. But when it's like this, everything's really 50-50. You want to be a bit more flexible, not be so attached to your bias, because things change quickly. And again, it's difficult to predict moves in these conditions here as well. So I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt with the DXY. Hence why I'm trying to move away from dollar for now. I'm looking at the JPYs. I'm looking at the Swiss currency pairs right now because they look a little bit more attractive. They're trending a lot better, and there's a bit more direction on the higher time frames. So I'm trying to stay away from dollar. Apart from pound, pound USD does look pretty good. and so does gold. But other dollar pairs, especially like Euro USD, that are looking really, really ugly to me. I mean, I'm favoring a bigger move to the upside soon, but I wouldn't really look to trade it just because its conditions aren't great. So yeah, trying to stay away from the dollar pairs. Where was I? Manzondi, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Podcasty, I haven't taken the trade this week, no. Last trades I took was last week on gold and pound. I haven't taken the position this week, no. Sculpey, what is up? Welcome, bro. Hope you are doing good. That is a beautiful comment there from Chris. Don't forget to smash the like button. Good stuff is good stuff. Let's show our love. That's beautifully written. If you guys are joining the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And of course, hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because you will be notified, of course. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone who has liked the stream so far. Jackie, yes, I will take a look at Aussie CAD, no problemo. Ojo, no, I purely technicals. I mean, I will keep an eye out for news. I will keep an eye out for news and the big events. But in terms of determining a bias and determining entries and how I'm going to manage that trade, where I'm going to exit, that's all to do with technicals. Bryce, what is up? Good day. Hope you're well. Gift, good morning. Hope you are doing good. Okay, so I will go take a look at Aussie CAD for Jackie. And if anyone has any other pairs, let me know. But yeah, in terms of Aussie CAD, if I can find it, there we are. So Aussie CAD, yeah, this one's been a little bit awkward because, again, it's another one of those currency pairs which is just very, very weird right now. The price action isn't particularly great. I mean, there's this kind of a slow bearish trend on the monthly chart, but that's not going to do much good for us when we're trading on the lower time frames. Weekly chart, possibly forming another lower high here in comparison to these prior highs there. So I can probably see that happening for another swing back to the low here. But again, nothing high probability, I would say. Daily chart, we had a really nice move down. So if you're kind of focusing on the moment right now, there's still a lot of momentum there. There's a good chance we probably see price have another fall to the downside, push back to the lows, and maybe new lows as well. So if you're on the lower time frames, I would say you're looking for shorts and just trying to ride that momentum. In fact, that would be a nice entry down the 4 hour. Nice entry there. Stop loss above the high. Something like that. And then looking to target the low. Maybe not that you're best risk reward in the world, but still a decent trade nonetheless, because what you're saying is that, okay, we've had a lot of momentum, price had a bit of a breather, a bit of a pullback. We come back to retest some structure here just about. So you got the low over there. So you got the low over here. Price just come back to retest it. Nice kind of double top there. Rejection. Nice candlestick there on the 4 hour. Hourly showing rejection there as well. And you're looking to try and push it back to the low there. So if you're kind of looking for trading the moment, that makes a lot of sense to me there for Aussie CAD. In terms of longer term trajectory, I don't really have much of a bias for this one, really. As I said, I do think maybe we are forming a lower high there in the weekly chart to come back down, but it's not clear, so it's nothing I will look to trade just yet. But yeah, and we have to watch out for this level of support as well, because that's kind of what slowed down price. We may come back down, respect it, push right back up again. So yeah, with Aussie CAD, I'd say watch out for that level of support. It's not a bad place to start looking for longs, but of course, if you're looking to buy, you kind of want price to push to the downside anyway, and then you can start looking for some entries. But if you're looking to trade the moment, right now, there's still a lot of bearish momentum in the market, so I would expect us to roll over back to lows and maybe further as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'll be with Aussie CAD. But it's a similar situation as with Aussie dollar as well. Aussie dollar, massive move down. Looks like a bit of a, it's going to say correction, but it's kind of a bit more just consolidation, really. Price just moving sideways, making up its mind. Does it want to have a bigger retracement, or does it just want to keep falling? It depends on Aussie, depends on dollar as well. But yeah, if dollar does take a dive, then maybe Aussie does see some upside. I don't know, but I think Aussie's still pretty weak. So yeah, but that's kind of my outlook on Aussie CAD. Podcasty, that's on a pause at the moment. I'm looking to start that back up on the channel after probably August when I launch my prop firm. Because I've got my kind of hands tied at the moment, and there might be an issue about that as well in the future. Yeah, but yeah, I'll update probably August, but yeah, there might be an issue with me kind of passing that, but I'll go into detail in another video. Simbonello, what is up in the house? Let me hit the like. I appreciate that. John, what is up? Good morning. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Yes, we'll take a look at gold as well. Do I see Bank Japan hiking? Don't know. I mean, I think they'll probably stay the same, to be honest, but we'll wait and see. But I think it probably will stay the same for Bank of Japan. Pound JPY, yes, we'll take a look as well. Am I long in gold by any chance? No. I'm looking to buy gold if it does retrace for me. But let me go through which pair that I was going to take a look again. Completely forgot. It might have actually been gold. Yeah, I think it is gold actually. So yeah, I'll go for gold and then I'll take a look at pound yen. But yeah, I'm looking to buy gold if it does push back down again. Not at the moment though. It's kind of like in a very awkward place. I mean, I was actually buying gold last week here, but I just got stopped out before the move. So ideally, I kind of would have already want to be in the trade, but due to circumstance, I'm not. So hopefully we can push back down again, and then I'll look for some entries on this particular area. Or if we push down a little bit further, then I'll look around 23.40. At the moment, this is kind of bearish territory for me, so I would expect to see another move down for gold. So as we come into areas like such, I would be looking for a move down. I'm actually kind of looking to sell silver, which is weird because I'm looking to sell silver and buy gold, but it's only short term. So if silver does push up like this, I will actually look for opportunities to short it. If we can approach these areas up here. So that's kind of the same situation with gold. So if gold does kind of push up one more time, test some areas up there, I would expect gold to roll over too and silver to roll over with it. And then maybe I can look for some buys back up again on gold and silver as well. But for long opportunities, I'm looking at these prices. If you're looking to short, you kind of want to see price push up a little bit higher back to resistance. So back into this area or maybe even higher. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold at the moment. In terms of pound yen, as I've said, I'm looking for a little more upside than a correction. This is where all the momentum lied for pound yen. So what I'll be looking for that is a correction higher than a continuation. I do prefer some other yen pairs to it, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same thing. On my weekly analysis, I did mention this level here, lovely resistance over there. This will now be turned support. No, it won't. It'll be resistance still. I have no idea why I said that. This resistance over here will still be acting as resistance and possibly could be forming a massive kind of head and shoulder pattern, if you will. So you've got your left over there, your head over there, and possibly a nice little right shoulder over there. And of course, that would then be your neckline. So I'm kind of looking at that for pound yen, a little bit more upside, and then some shorts around 201. Around 201 on the dot pretty much. And and take some sales back to where we came from, back into the low here. So I really like the yen pairs, I must say, because there's just a lot of momentum with it. Same with the Swiss pairs as well. So those currency pairs are on my watch list. There's quite a few of them on my watch list at the moment. Pound yen looks good. It's just CAD yen looks a little bit better. Dollar yen looks a little bit better, and so does euro. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. In terms of the Swiss pairs, it's similar situation in terms of a lovely move down, looking for a correction of that, and then again for another continuation. CAD CHF is probably my preferred CHF pair at the moment because we have a really nice level here, which hasn't been retested yet. When we broke through, we kind of just left it behind. So this is a nice fresh level of resistance to me. So if you can get there, see some nice rejections, I will definitely be looking for some entries. Take it back down to the low here. That was an awful line. Back to the low there. And then probably back to the low over here as well. And maybe some new all-time lows as well. But generally speaking, I'm seeing a lot of momentum here in the market. So CHF, yen pairs, yen currency pairs are where my eyes are peeled. Some of the cross pairs look really awkward, like Euro CAD. I mean, I would expect to move down, but it's not moving too great. A lot of dollar pairs are moving very ugly. I know we had a lot of momentum there for Aussie, but in the grand scheme of things, if I zoom out to the daily chart, it's like, what is price doing here? It's just a big sideways mess. So although we had some nice momentum, which is great, it's just in the grand scheme of things, that momentum doesn't really mean too much. If we're going to see a lot of momentum, fantastic. But if it's just going to do this all the time, then what's the point? Momentum becomes useful when it's in a certain direction, like this. And then the pullbacks look really good to trade. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for Aussie dollar, for a bit of clarity. And I think we'll get the clarity when DXY becomes clear on the higher time frames. But yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of looking for this, but I'm not trying to be too rigid with the DXY. I'm trying to be flexible and kind of take it day by day, really. So yeah, for now, I'm kind of looking for a move down for dollar. But yeah, I'm not too sure how far I'm expecting it to go. Normally, I would have a bias and then have a target for that bias. Whether we get to the target or not, that's a different question, but I'll at least normally have a target for the bias. Here, it's kind of just, I expect to move down based on price action. But I don't really have an expectation for it, really. I mean, I was expecting price to push at least a little bit higher anyway before looking for shorts. Podcasty, drop me DM. Okay, we'll take a look after the stream. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. US 30 potential longs on a retest. Okay, we'll go take a look. Sifiso, hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. EuroCAD sells entry at 1.5. We'll take a look as well. NAS and US 30. Okay, we'll go through some indices whilst we're at it. Two trades this week. Silver long, break even. S&P short, tiny profit. Too much news this week. I'm going to chill. Fair enough. I mean, it's going to start heating up towards the end of the week. I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as well. The action is Wednesday, you've got Fed interest rate. I think a bit of CPI for Euro. And then Thursday, you got Bank of England. And then Friday, you got NFP. So, and I think Wednesday morning actually is when Bank of Japan is. So, you've got a lot of news Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm still going to look to trade as normal, but I will be holding back in terms of my timing of entries to make sure I'm not entering directly into news. So yeah, but in terms of like the Fed interest rate, that's at like 7 p.m. UK time. I normally stop at 5 p.m. so I don't have to worry too much about that. Although I would like to enter my trades early in the day, so I can either be stopped out by then or be in some decent profit, maybe trailed stop loss as well, so I can protect that trade. But yeah, in terms of NFP, again, I'd watch out for that one too. Anyway, so we'll take a look at Euro. No, we'll go for US 30 first, and we'll take a look at EuroCAD, and we'll go through NAS as well. So where's US 30 there? So you looking for some buys, potential longs on the retest. So yeah, we were discussing US 30 briefly yesterday. Really nice move here. Big fan of that. We had a really nice retest of this high there as well. So things are looking pretty good for US 30. I think there's a good chance we do come back to the high. Because again, the market is just trending beautifully in the higher time frames. We're seeing higher highs and higher lows, momentum to the upside across all the major time frames. And now we're seeing that in the 4 hour and the lower time frames now. So I think there's a good chance we just slowly make our way back to the high. So looking for pullbacks and retest in that direction is always going to be a half decent idea. It's just in terms of timing and finding good entries, really, which is where all the hard work is. But yeah, in terms of retest, I'm liking this area here. Brief resistance, price broke through. Now you're having a retest of that as support. We may sell off one more time and then get the buy. So maybe we see that happen in New York, and then maybe a nice buy off the back of that. But generally speaking, some retest around 43.20 makes a lot of sense to me. And then, yeah, you've got a nice obvious target back at the high. And then if you're feeling a little bit braver, you've got the high over there if you want to try and push the trade for a bigger target. But generally speaking, I'm liking the buys here for US 30. We broke structure as well on the left here. Did it with some nice momentum there too. So in general, we're seeing the buyers kind of come back and take control. So yeah, US 30, I'll be expecting price to push back to the high 41,330. Looks like we're having a decent little retest now of some structure. So maybe you can get one more sell off, maybe take these lows out, nice rejection after. That could then be a nice entry on the hourly or the 30, maybe 15. And yeah, I expect price to at least come back to the high. And then we can see if we come back to the swing high, the daily swing high. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with US 30. So yeah, I do agree with that long bias. EuroCAD, you're looking for sells. So yeah, EuroCAD is in the bearish place right now. So looking for sells makes a lot of sense. We're coming back into a big level on the daily chart here. So looking for sells at that area does make sense, especially with how we're moving as well. We had some really nice momentum, but since then we've been very, very corrective. So it looks like the market is very, very slowly running out of energy. And typically when we're moving in this type of way, it's normally price giving you a big signal that, okay, I'm about to sell off. So yeah, I think looking for sales makes a lot of sense. I was touching upon this one yesterday. I said if you're looking for some nicer entries, what would be a good idea is waiting to see if you can get another push higher back to the high here, maybe even a new high, and then look for your sells, because that way you can get stop loss above the high here and get a entry closer to that area rather than entering down here and giving yourself wider stop loss, which means risk reward won't be as good. But if you can get entries close to the stop loss as possible, then you're just giving yourself better risk reward if the trade does play out. But yeah, stop loss above the high here would be safe. And if we spike and create a new high, then of course, we want your stop loss above that new high if we do that. But generally speaking, this is a nice zone for it. I like the way price is moving, very corrective. Good chance we'll see some downside. And then again, if you're looking for some targets as well, you can target the lower end of this channel just in case we do bounce again and push up. And then if you get the break of the channel, you can leave some positions to run. So yeah, that's kind of how I would tackle it. But I'm liking EuroCAD. Not really my type of trade, but I can see the sense in that. You're looking for sales at 1.50239. 239. Okay, so that's roughly around here somewhere. So yeah, pretty much where I'm discussing. Yeah, retest of the high, then a double top, or maybe a higher high if we spike through there as well. So yeah, to me that makes a load of sense. And then yeah, keep an eye on the low of the channel because, like I said, we could still push to the upside again. But if we break through, leave some positions to run, could be onto a nice winner. So quickly move on to the weekly chart. Actually, yeah, there's that room to the downside for another big pullback. So could get a nice little runner before maybe form a higher low again somewhere and push up. But of course, that'll be up to you. Let me know your targets for that trade as well if you have targets in mind. Anyway, so we'll go through NAS next. And what's up, Tamel? I was counting on you to see if you'll come today, and you did. Great stuff. Euroseat Chef, we'll take a look at. Lutfen, is that German or something, or Swedish? Is that, yeah, what language is that? I'm assuming it means please. But yes, we'll take a look at Euroseat Chef. Let me just go through NAS first. So yeah, NAS hasn't done much since we last spoke. We kind of just been moving sideways. I am still looking for some downside for this one. If we come back and retest this low, 19,500, if we can see a nice little move back to the high, that would be very, very nice. And then I'll be expecting price to continue lower. We've got the highs here, one over there, second over there, third over there. Potentially could be seeing a fourth, and this would be a great place for that fourth to fall, potentially. If you're looking for buys, then we are kind of in bullish territory. So, retesting the high here, buys make sense there. Also, retesting the high there as well, buys make sense because, again, if I scoot to the higher time frames, this is still a very bullish market, and I would expect to see a high low form somewhere and us to push back up again. So, if you do if you do decide to see some downside again, I think looking to pick up some longs makes the best bet. Certainly, if you're looking for a longer term swing. If you're looking to kind of buy and hold, then I would say 18,800 to kind of 18,200 is a good place to be looking for some long opportunities. And yeah, if you're looking for some sells, then you kind of want price to push up first and then find some entries there to take to the downside. But generally speaking, I think the shorts will probably come around first. So keep an eye on the shorts there. If you decide just to melt to the downside, then yeah, longs could look good. A bit more aggressive because you're kind of trying to catch a bottom here a little bit, but you're in some nice areas to do that. So I think probabilities is on your side. You just need to wait for some good confirmations and not just blindly get involved because the levels looking good. We have to wait for price to confirm to us that, okay, we are holding this price and we're likely going to reverse. So yeah, if you're bullish, keep an eye on those two levels there. If you're bearish, you're looking for a sell up there to try and catch that next lower high. But right now, kind of just ranging. So I would ignore price here as long as you stay within the confinements of that range. Wouldn't look to trade within that. I know you could be looking at intraday opportunities, but it's just really difficult to say what price is going to do next in here. If we come a little bit higher or a little bit lower, price is a bit more of use to me. In there, it can do whatever it likes. Okay, so Euroseat Chef will take a look. Watching from South Africa, Wicked. Whereabouts in South Africa are you watching from? Tony Gold, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so Euro Swiss. So Euro Swiss again went into a bit of detail with this one yesterday. Still looking for the same downside move. I'm only kind of my only kind of worry is we might not come back to retest it. It's a reasonable level for a retest. It's just that there's so much momentum in the market right now. Kind of got a feeling we might just push up a little bit, maybe 3/4 of the way, and then just roll over. But if we do come back for a retest, fantastic. I will be looking for entries. Euroseat Chef is on my watch list, so it's a pair I'm looking to trade 100%. Again, we had a lovely impulse here. This appears to be the correction of that. So I'm expecting price to at least come back and retest that low. whip out the old Fibonacci from the high to the low, you can see we had a nice rejection of the 0.618 there. So now I do expect us to continue that momentum and take us back into the low. Just need to find some entries for that trade. And this level here makes the most sense. We broke through for a lot of momentum, never had a retest of that area, so it's still really fresh. And the likelihood of us bouncing is great. And yeah, I'll be looking for a move back into the low here at least. And then if I'm feeling a bit braver, back to that low. But yeah, everything kind of is in sync here for Euro Swiss. Follow the trend. What is up? Hope you're well. Buyers and DXY and dollar pairs. Good question. Yeah, my bias for dollar pairs is absolutely neutral right now. In fact, I'm trying to stay away from the dollar pairs just because dollar's looking absolutely hectic. The DXY and euro looking very, very hectic. So I'm trying to stay away from them and not trade them until things look a lot cleaner. I'm trying to focus more on the yen pairs now and the Swiss pairs because that's where a lot of momentum's had, especially after the last week. So I'm just going to be looking at pullbacks and maybe some mean reversion opportunities with yen pairs and Swiss pairs. In terms of dollar, I do like pound. I must admit, pound USD looks relatively good. So out of the dollar pairs, pound USD is kind of the only one I want to trade in. Gold as well, for that matter too. But DXY in general, price action looks relatively like a myth. And I'm mainly talking about the daily chart because that's kind of where I develop my bias from. 4 hour and below is kind of looking for entries and levels to enter from and managing trades. Daily, weekly, monthly is kind of where I derive my bias. And I'm looking at the dollar here on the daily, and what is that price action? It's horrendous. I know we've been doing this for a while, but we've kind of progressively got worse. Here wasn't too bad. Then we had some nice momentum there, And then it started to get a little bit shaky, and now it's just really, really shaky. So I'm not trying to investigate price action too much and develop a bias. I'm just trying to stay flexible, stay on my toes, because it's really difficult to work out which way dollar wants to go. I think in terms of intraday, I can be a bit more of help. So I'm kind of just looking at the price action for 4 hour. I would fancy another down move there for dollar based on how we're looking. We just took out some highs here, almost came into that area there. Really nice rejection. So I do think dollar will see some downside this afternoon, maybe tomorrow as well. But how far will that go as to which level? Yeah, nothing's really clear to me. So yeah, I expect to see some downside, but yeah, it's nothing concrete, nothing concrete there for dollar. Like I said, trying to focus on yen, trying to focus on Swiss because they just look clear to me. But yeah, pound USD does look good, I must admit. Pound USD, there's some nice bullish structure here. So this is something I'm looking to trade and get a part of that I can make a lot of sense of. And, there's momentum there too. And that's my longer term target. So everything's pretty mapped out there for pound. Euro, have no idea what euro is doing. What is this? Again, I kind of have a bullish bias. I kind of expect this to happen, but it's nothing concrete. I'd rather just focus on pound. Aussie dollar, again, nothing really clean here, just up and down, up and down. New Zealand dollar, kind of the same thing, although I do think we can probably come back to these lows, but I'm not really keen on trading it. USD CAD, that's just been corrected for a while. I'm not really looking to trade that one either. Dollar CHF, again, this one's been really difficult to trade too, so not really interested. I mean, it hasn't really been that difficult. I haven't really looked to trade it, but the price action there is not that bad. But yeah, in general, dollar's been very corrective, so trying to stay away. Pound looks good, so I'll keep an eye on that one. Looking for buys back to the swing high there and eventually the high there. So that's kind of my bias there for pound. Just waiting on some good entries. I will take a look at dollar CHF. Rick, hey, what's up, Anis? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, looking for a sell on oil. Haven't been looking at oil for a while, so I'm not too sure what that one's been doing, but I would gladly take a look at it. Yeah, we kind of do see that happen sometimes in vanilla, especially with the big news events. Sometimes the market does dry up a little bit, and then yeah, people are kind of getting ready for the news, and then everything kind of opens up again. But we don't have any big news today, do we? Or do we? Maybe I'm mistaken because in my head I'm thinking all the big news is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, we had a bunch of CPI this morning for like Germany, Italy, Euro, GDP for Euro. Um, okay, we got jolts, job openings for dollar at 3. Again, that's nothing crazy. That's not really a news event which I will start taking precautions for. But yes, it could move the market a bit this afternoon. So yeah, I suppose watch out for that. But yeah, in terms of the big boys, you got Bank of Japan interest rate tomorrow morning, early hours of the morning. You got Aussie CPI as well, and then in the afternoon slash the evening, you got Fed interest rate for dollar. Then Thursday, you got Bank of Japan for England. Bank of Japan for England. You got Bank of England interest rate decision at 12, and PMI for dollar in the afternoon. Then Friday, you got NFP. So yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it heats up. Bit of news this afternoon. But yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays will be the main focus. Um, yeah, I think it's good as well. I think because dollar's been really corrected, we've got a bunch of news coming out this week. I think that could help smooth things out with the dollar. And just time is just seeing momentum as to which direction. I'm not really too bothered. I just want dollar to be trending a little bit now. Even here wasn't great, but at least it had a bit of a trend to it and some momentum there. Here does have a slight bearish trend to it, but again, nothing clear at all. So just want to see price either pushing hard this week or selling hard this week, and then next week becomes a little bit clearer and easier to trade. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and this is a great week for that to happen. You know, back to back big news. So hopefully, fingers crossed. But it's a little bit dead at the moment, though. Anyway, Dollar Suit Chef, someone requested that. So yeah, USDC Chef. This one again, we do have some nice structure on the 4 hour. I must admit, push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, push, another pullback, possibly for another push. The only reason why I don't like this one as much right now is because we've just taken out a key low here. All the prior pullbacks were kind of above the support level. This time, we've just taken out a big low, taken out liquidity there. So maybe price might want to go through its deeper pullback now. So that's the only thing I don't like about dollar CHF, but we're definitely in bearish territory. This is definitely an area where we could form another lower high. If I go to the 4 hour, probably got a nice long-term standing trend line-ish there. And we're just about coming back into this low here as well. So it's a nice place for a short, but I would watch out. I would watch out when we start coming back into this area here that we don't have a massive bounce. But yeah, this is definitely a bearish area. So if you're looking for some entries, how we're looking on the hourly chart, that would have been a nice candle. I mean, bit of a wick there. If you're being picky, you might not have taken that, but it's a nice shift of momentum there, especially if we move up. Or if you want to wait for another one, possibly might push back up again for another entry. But yeah, I would say you're kind of starting to look to take profits and secure your position around this area, just in case we go and do something like this. But yeah, we're on bearish territory. The market's still flowing to the downside. So yeah, dollar CHF not looking too bad, I must admit. But I would be careful around these prices. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar CHF. I'll take a look at oil next. We'll go through pound CHF and what's up in Deju. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Pound CHF, and we'll take a look at oil, pound NZD as well. Yeah, of course. I mean that follow the trend. That's the rule of thumb for everything, really. You need to make sure that whatever you're trading, whatever theory, pattern, strategy, confluence, whatever you're trading, that you know what you're doing with it. I mean, of course, everyone's got to start somewhere, but you don't start with live capital. Well, you can start with live capital, but it's got to be capital which you're very, very much prepared to lose. Um, but yeah, you have to become confident with your trading style, and you have to know it like the back of your hand. Because at the end of the day, you're competing with other people in the market. I know trading is very much, you know, kind of an individual thing. It's just you in the markets, but at the end of the day, money's got to flow from somewhere, from people to people, business to business, and it's either going to be flowing away from you or flowing towards you. And you know, you've got to make sure you're on your toes, on the top of your game when you're trading. Because if you're sluggish and you're just kind of doing things out of boredom, then yeah, 100% the money in your account will be slowly flowing away. So you got to stay on top of your game, and by doing that means staying on top of your strategy and knowing it very, very well, knowing its strengths, knowing its weaknesses, and the same with you, your strengths and weaknesses as well. And then make sure you play into that as well. But yeah, if you're not confident, or you haven't really tested your strategy out in different conditions, or you know which conditions it forms in, then best thing to do is go and find that out before you put backing behind it. Okay, so let me go through oil, and I'll take a look at pound CHF and pound NZD. So, Anis, you said you're looking to sell oil. What's oil been doing? Okay, slowly moving down. So yeah, I mean, oil has been pretty bearish for past few days. Put another lower high there. We're approaching this kind of bullish area where we could be forming a higher low soon. So keep an eye out for that. Just like we're doing it with the highs here, yeah, as we've been squeezing there. But at the moment, we're still seeing a bearish momentum. So sales do look good. I'll definitely wait for a pullback though. I'm not a big fan of sells here. If you can spike a little bit higher, that would be nice. Maybe coming into this area, that could be a nice little sell there for me. I mean, I don't trade oil, but if I was trading oil, then that would probably interest me in the lower time frames, or even a bigger push up here as well. That could be a nice little place for a sell, because effectively, you know, the market's been putting on these lower highs, just looking for the next one. So yeah, I think with the current momentum, oil sales look good. I'd watch out as we push a little bit lower, because we're now coming back into bullish territory. But zoom out, you can kind of see price just been squeezing. So the closer we get to the lows here, the closer, you know, we're at that area where buyers will probably look to step back in, see if you can push price back up again. So I'd watch out for that, but we're not quite there yet. So there's still a bit of room to the downside. But yeah, I would wait for a pullback there for oil, since we're a little bit sideways now at the moment as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking at for oil. In terms of pound seat chef, so yeah, pound seat chef, another pair. Well, it's another pair I'm expecting to sell off, but not really a seat chef pair, which I'm that interested in. I quite like I quite like CAD seat chef, Euro seat chef, and Aussie seat chef. So those are the three seat chef pairs I'm interested in trading. Pound seat chef looks good as well. It's just that this one's just a bit more confusing on the daily chart, because we're still kind of putting in these higher lows here. We have put a lower high there, but it's just the structure is a little bit more confusing. CAD seat chef, you know, we've got that trend's pretty clear. Euro seat chef is starting to come clearer here as well. And Aussie seat chef, we broke through key lows there too. So this one's a little bit clear to me too. But pounds, although I do expect it to follow the other seat chef pairs and eventually do that, it's just the market structure isn't that great. So that's why it's taking a back seat for now. But yeah, if you're looking for some opportunities, I think sales look the best as well. I like the head and shoulder here, the left there, the head and the right shoulder. That left behind a really nice neckline. Should we get there, that would obviously be a really nice place for a short. Since we broke through, never really had a retest. But again, my worry is I don't know if we'll get there. I feel like we're already having quite a nice correction right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of sell off. And it's not like price is trading at a big level, which makes sense to short from, at least in my eyes. Maybe this area here on the hourly chart could be what sells the market. But yeah, it doesn't really compete with this area up there. So that's kind of where I would be looking for shorts and pound CHF. But I would say if you're really looking to trade it, keep an eye on this area around 1.149, because we might not get there. So if you take a short here, it doesn't fail, get back in over there. The risk reward should cover the damage. But yeah, in terms of bias, I'm pretty bearish on pound CHF, and I'll be expecting a lot more downside. Okay, so I'll take a look at pound NZD as well. Okay, I think Jolts will send DXY higher. Yeah, it could do. I haven't actually checked the numbers on what's expecting to happen, but yeah, I'm kind of just staying neutral. Like I said, dollar, I'm not going to think too much about dollar right now. CHF and Swiss just look a lot better, so that's where I'm going to spend my efforts. I know I want to buy pound, so I mean that could help me out actually. If Jolts do send dollar higher, that will send pound USD down, and that would probably take pound USD back into my entry level. And then hopefully find some entries on the back of that. So yeah, if that actually does happen, that would probably help me out, as long as we don't break through the level, of course. But at least price will be trading closer to my level. But yeah, I'm just going to see what happens. CHF JPY, Tema will take a look as well. Rick, no problem, happy to help. Anton, indices on the 1 minute. What do you mean by that? Indices on the hourly perform heavily. What does that mean? Okay, so let me go to pound NZD. So yeah, pound NZD, I think this one did see some downside. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, it's still very, very bullish from the higher time frame. So I do think, again, it's definitely time for a retracement. This is just so bullish. So we are coming up to some areas where, even just two bearish candles on the daily chart is likely, or a bearish week as well is pretty likely at this point. Or at least a doji. I mean, it's looking like a doji at the moment, but we still got 3 days left. But, downside is likely. In FX, we don't move like this for too long. This isn't Bitcoin. We're not going to just do this forever. And even again, Bitcoin will have its time. It does see some downside as well. But yeah, the likelihood is we're going to take a retrace at some point, and it could be starting already. Again, as I said yesterday with pound NZD, I would wait for some double tops to come back in. At the moment, we're still kind of creating new highs. So maybe if you push back up, fail at the high there, that could end up being a nice short. Or maybe if you start clearing support, clearing lows, and then using that to advantage on a retest, that could then be a nice little short there to take advantage of some sells. And as I've said, this high over here could be your first target. Really strong high. We broke through, no retest. You would at least expect price to come back and retest that area there as well. So I think shorts look good for pound NZD. It's very, very much counter trend, and it's up to people, because some people wouldn't want to trade that, like myself. I mean, I don't mind going counter trend, but I like being counter trend when the trend I'm trading is in favor of the higher time frame trend. So, if this here was kind of against a longer term and a really strong downtrend, then maybe I might be interested in it. But given the fact that we kind of really don't really have much of a trend here, and it is pretty bullish on the higher time frames as well, I would avoid looking for shorts, but I would expect the market to retrace. So yeah, maybe waiting for the break of structure will be the more sensible, more conservative option, and kind of maybe avoid unnecessary sells, unnecessary losses. But then again, you might get a nice little entry at the high. So that's up to you how you want to trade it, but I'll be expecting retracement there for pound NZD. Pound USD, I'll touch on that one as well. Okay, CHF JPY, I'll touch on there too. Kingsley, what is up? Welcome to the stream, watching from Soweto. Oh, nice. Hope you're well. Yes, I'll take a look at USD and NZD USD. Let me go through CHF JPY, and then I'll go through. Yeah, I'm not going to take a look at the indices in 1 minute. I'll go through CHF JPY and take a look at NZUSD and USD. So yeah, Swiss yen. This one is this one's interesting because the yen pairs had a really big meltdown last week, but Swiss kind of looks relatively healthy. This isn't really like, if you compare it to New Zealand yen, that's a huge meltdown. This is the weekly chart as well. It's a huge move down. But Swiss, a couple bearish candles there, a small bullish candle in between, coming back to retest this area. I wouldn't be surprised if Swiss just continues the trend like nothing just happened. So I think in terms of the sells, I would keep kind of a shorter, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Just keep repeating the word shorter. A shorter view on the market. That's it. In terms of the sells, so I think this is still a nice place for a short, since we had a really nice break to the downside. This looks pretty corrective, so I do think we'll see some downside there as well. But it might end up just being a move halfway before the market decides it wants to continue up again. Like I said, I wouldn't be too surprised if this trend just continues and we find our way back at the high there. Because at the moment we're just kind of having a retest of some structure on the left. So I think the best bet, unless you're already long on Swiss, is to be looking for shorts around this area. Again, strong break of that low. We never came back for a retest, so this still looks like a relatively fresh level for a short. But I think we struggle on that move down because we're doing so well at rejecting the low. But 176 still looks like a nice place for a short for me. Still looks like a nice short for me. And then we can go from there. But I'm kind of looking for the same thing for most of the yen pairs. But CHF is the only one that hasn't really had that big of a sell-off. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is just going to be another higher low and price is just going to find its feet and push on. Because again, these are still all-time highs for Swiss yen. If I go to like the quarterly chart, and these are the previous all-time highs back in 1979. This chart goes all the way back to 1973. As we can see, price is spiking through that, and it's been doing that for a while. So these are all-time highs for the Swiss yen. So eventually there will be a big correction. But I don't know if it's happening just yet. So that's kind of where I'm at with Swiss yen. In terms of USD ZAR, so again, USD ZAR not really a currency pair I look at too much. Very corrective, but at least this one's being pretty consistent with the low highs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 there. So there's a good chance of price coming back to the low. If I drop to the 4 hour, I like that. So I feel like the shorts kind of have left the station a little bit. If you're not already in the trade, you might have missed the boat. This kind of spike there back to the high, nice rejection. That's kind of where you want to position yourself short. For USD, unless we have another push up higher, which could happen. And then again, you're looking for shorts. Because as you can see, every time the market takes out a high, we sell off. Takes out a high, sell off. Takes out a high, sell off. So if you do it again, the chances are we're going to sell off again, as long as we don't take out this high there, because these are major highs, as you can see on the daily chart. So we don't want price to start breaking through that, because then that changes everything. But realistically, if we maintain those lower highs, there's a very good chance we're going to end up back at that support, back at this low here. So that could be your target, or something you maybe trail your stop towards, or it's up to you how you want to do it, because there are other targets to look at as well. But generally speaking, we're seeing some really nice bearish structure here. So yeah, if you aren't already short, you kind of want price to push up again, at least back to the high, preferably a higher high. And then yeah, you're looking for some shorts there, and it's up to you how far you want to take it. But I would expect us to eventually get back to 17.9. So yeah, USDs I would expect more downside. In terms of NZD USD, so yeah, for this one, again, looking for a pullback. We've been so bearish. We've found ourselves trading at this low here. So I do think it's time for us to see a bit of upsides for NZD, because it's been so weak. So naturally, we're probably are going to see a bit of retracement coming into play. But then I do think we're just going to do something like this, because again, I'm looking at the higher time frames, and similar to USDR, which we just talked about, this one has been pretty consistent with all its low highs as well. We got one over there, second over there, third, fourth, kind of fifth there, sixth as well, joined with it. Then another one, potentially another one there as well. So we're slowly working our way to the downside. So the next major level of support would be this low here, and then potentially this low down there as well. So what I'm expecting is a bit of a breather as we react to that support, and then eventually price rolls over again. So yeah, if you're looking for buys, it's at a nice place for a buy. But I do think the buys will be short-lived, just for the price to find a bit of a breather and then sell off again. As from where we're going to sell off, I have no idea. It would be nice retest of this low, but that's just way too far. I don't think we'll get up there again. May kind of push halfway and then sell off. But yeah, in general, I do think NZ USD is going to have a big sell. Same with Aussie dollar as well, but it's probably time for a bit of retracement. Martin, what is up? Euro krona. What's that? Is that Swedish krona or Norwegian krona? Or is that? Yeah, I'm not too sure which one that is. Is that Euro NOK or Euro SEK? Or is that another krona I don't know about? No problem, Kingsley. What language is that? Is that some Afrikaans? Okay, Norwegian krona. Yeah, Euro NOK. Not your most popular pair in the world. But something that I apparently looked at not too long ago. So yeah, Euro NOK, last time I looked at it was 25th of June, so about a month ago. So yeah, I was talking about some shorts here, which did not play out. I see price broke through that level pretty well. We tested the support pretty well as well, and flew to the moon there. So Euro NOK going forward, okay, we've taken up the highs there. So yeah, Euro NOK pretty much a range now, isn't it? Pretty much a range. We spiked right at the high and rejecting right at the high. So I would expect to see price take a bit of a breather, especially after all of this momentum and that big wick there. Potentially we could see price come right back down to where we came from, but we have to be a bit careful because the market trajectory is up with this one as well. So you have to be a bit more cautious with the sells. If this was kind of flipped and price was at the bottom there, then yeah, we can probably expect a massive swing back to the high. But at the same time, we've got to be a bit careful of that. But yeah, it's rejecting resistance there, so I would expect to see some downside. So shorts do look good up here. How are we looking on the lower time frames? 4 hour, still quite corrective. I mean, we are leaving behind some nice support over here, but it would be nice if we were breaking that a little bit more aggressively, because the way it looks to me is that we've had a nice impulse over there, correction, another impulse there as well, and this looks like some type of correction there too, which could translate to another move higher. So what I want to see there for Euro NOK would be even another rejection of the high, and then look for some shorts back up there again, something like that, or we push a little bit heavier and then start to look for a retest for a short. But either which way, we're looking for shorts in that area. And now's not the time. If you're already in the trade, fantastic. Now's not the time to be looking to short because you already had a bit of a move. So you want to wait for price to see some upside to short it. In terms of the location, it makes a lot of sense of where we're trading. And yeah, especially with last week's price action with that big piercing wick, I like what I'm seeing. So yeah, I would be expecting more downside there for Euro NOK. But yeah, I can't say I've ever traded this market before. I mean, sure, I've analyzed it a few times for requests, but I definitely don't think I've placed a trade. And I did used to trade exotics. USD ZAR, USD Peso. I think USD SEC as well. Probably dabbled in a little bit in my earlier days. But yeah, the reason why I kind of moved away from exotics is because of swap. Because, well, back then anyway, I used to hold my trades a little bit longer than I used to do now because I mainly trade on the 4 hour time frame. So yeah, I could hold trades quite easily for a week or two. And yeah, sometimes the swaps on some of the exotic currency pairs are just so high that it doesn't really make a point of trading it sometimes. Definitely if you're just going to hold it for a week just to be taken out break even, it's almost like just taking a loss really. So yeah, that's why I scrap trading exotics. They do kind of trend pretty well, so that's why I like them in the first place, because they kind of have that general kind of upwards trajectory. They're always kind of trending up. This is Euro NOK, USD ZAR. It's generally had that bullish trajectory, so it makes things a little bit simpler. But yeah, it's just the swaps are too high. Is that head and shoulder on Euro CAD in the hour? Okay, we'll take a look. No problem, Ben. I haven't really gone through Euro USD. Probably touched on it earlier, but not a lot of detail. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro. First, is that head and shoulder on Euro CAD? Let me take a look. So yeah, for Euro CAD, I'm looking for a big sell. But I did mention earlier, I want to see another move higher first before the sell, because it's not the best place for entries. I think I know what you mean in terms of a head and shoulder. So you're looking at the left over here, the head over there, and possibly a right shoulder. That could be the case as well. Conditions aren't particularly great, so if you're looking to trade that, I kind of would wait for the shoulder to break and then start looking for shorts. So if we do form a right shoulder, I'd wait for that to crack and then find some entries outside of that range or ascending channel. But yeah, I am looking for a big sell-off for EuroCAD, mainly because we're coming into major resistance. Market's quite stretched. We're moving very correctly there as well. So when we do see corrective price action like that, it's a big sign saying, okay, the buyers are running out of momentum. We're coming into a big level. We're struggling to break through it. There's a good chance we're going to see some downside, whether retracement or reversal, that's another question, but there's a good chance you probably will see some downside at this point. But in terms of getting a good entry and a good stop loss as well, stop loss, you kind of want it to be above this high. I would like to see a move higher, come back and give us another double top or spike higher a little bit. But generally speaking, looking for entries in that area and then looking to take some sells. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with EuroCAD. So yeah, the head and shoulder looks like a possibility, but I will wait for that neckline to go unless you're going to get stop loss above the high. Because yeah, in that channel, it's a little bit difficult. Anyway, I'll go through Euro USD next. Sifiso, yes, we'll go for Euro Pound as well. I was looking to sell that one yesterday, but I don't think it'll give me an entry anymore. So let me go for Euro. So yeah, Euro's been very difficult. I kind of am expecting a bigger move higher at some stage. So I'm looking at something like this because we've got a lovely low over here, a high, higher low, higher high. So I'm looking for a higher low somewhere for another big push up. So that very much is the plan for Euro, but I'm not really looking to trade it. Firstly, Pound USD is a very similar pair to Euro. This just looks a lot clearer to me. So I'd rather focus my efforts on Pound USD in terms of the dollar pairs and ignore Euro just because conditions are very, very choppy in general. And number two, like I said, the conditions are just really, really choppy. So I'm not really interested in trading it until it clears up. But yeah, early in the week, I did, excuse me. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, early in the week, I mentioned this low here. I said if we can push back to that area, that could be a really nice place for a buy. If I draw the Fibonacci from the low to the high, you can see it does line up pretty nicely with the 0.618. So I'm looking for us to get there. Again, I'm still not really confident with Euro. Pound just looks a lot better. So again, I'll just focus my efforts there. But if you're looking to trade Euro, kind of want to see a bit more downside to this point here. And then we can just start to discuss some buys. Because I'm looking for another higher low. Same thing for the dollar. Kind of looking for another lower high, for another push down. It's just conditions are very, very difficult, very, very choppy. So I'm trying to avoid trading the dollar pairs for now and just waiting for opportunities on the yen and the Swiss. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar and Euro. Just conditions are very, very poor. But that is kind of what I'm looking at for Euro. Yes, we'll take a look at Euro Pound as well. John, yes, I will take a look at gold too. A lot of Euro pairs. So yeah, for Euro Pound, so yeah, we did see some nice downside yesterday. Really nice rejection up high. Price came straight back down. So yeah, I see what you mean. It's coming back to an area to sell. The only thing I don't like about this is that we're kind of just in the middle right now. We're not like at extreme, like up here, where I can get a safer stop loss. Stop loss above here. Although it makes sense because effectively what you're saying is you're looking for a retest of this low here to hold as resistance and then move down. It's just that there's not a lot of bearish momentum. If the market was bleeding heavily, now I think that would be a good position to take, but we're coming quite corrective now. I understand higher time frames, there is a bearish trend here. But if we zoom in as of late, we've become quite corrective. So I would avoid taking a quick break and retest. This is just me personally speaking. I'll avoid taking them just because I think there's a good chance we probably break higher. Of course, if that is a good position for you to take as part of your plan, I don't want to talk you out of it. But I just think you'd be much better off waiting to see if price can push back to the high again, looking for double tops or maybe prices that spike the high and looking for entries in that area. Safer stop loss, better risk reward, safer place anyway in general. So what you could do is, if this is an opportunity which you like and fits your plan well, see what happens there. If it's successful, fantastic. If it's not and it breaks higher, wait for price to push up close to the high here, then look for another re-entry. If you get it, great. If it plays out, you're looking at making back that loss and then some more. If it doesn't play out, then yeah, euro pound's probably not going to sell off anyway. It's probably just going to keep pushing higher. But yeah, I would still have a bearish bias for euro pound since that's the direction of the trend. So yeah, I would be expecting price to push back into that low. But yeah, keep an eye on that area up high around 0.846 because that to me still looks like a relatively nice area for a short. Of course, depending how we react there, we might just blast straight through. If that's the case, then I wouldn't short. But if you do reject up there, well, then keep a close eye on that. In terms of gold, so gold, I'm looking for longs. However, it's just in a very awkward place right now. So as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I want to see gold kind of sell off one more time. And then I'd start to discuss some buys to take it up higher. These are my two levels at which I'm looking to trade from. So 23.65 and also 23.35. They do line up pretty well with my Fibonacci confluence, so from that swing low to that swing high. As you can see, 0.618, 0.786, they line up really, really well at that particular price point. So what I want to see from gold is push down. I think we can see that as well. I think it's likely to happen. If you're looking for sells, this is not a bad place for it. If you do push up a little bit higher, take the sell down and yeah, maybe into that second level there as well. But generally speaking, that's a nice little place for a short. But I'm pretty bullish. So I'm just going to focus on the buys and see if I can take it back up into this area here. So I'm not going for the home run back to the high there. I think gold is showing some signs that we're slowing down on the higher time frames. So as a result, I'm not trying to swing this back to the swing high because I think we're going to find some resistance beforehand. So I think 24.30 in terms of a bullish swing bias, bullish swing target makes a load of sense. And if things look really good, you can always leave a small position to run to see if we do push back to the high. But at least that makes good for a first take profit. Okay, so you're looking for sells around 0.84560. Okay, where is that? Eight four five. Okay, that's a bit higher up. Okay, so you're looking for higher up. Okay, that's not bad. I'll still keep an eye on that high there. I think that's still a nice place. But yeah, I like. Oh, don't know what happened there. I like that a lot more. We could retest this and sell off, but like I said, just a little bit too low down. I feel like you want to be a little bit higher up, especially with a pair like Euro Pound, which corrects and chops around and it has a lot of unnecessary moves in it. So yeah, you kind of want to play it safe with Euro Pound and kind of want to be selling higher than other sellers and buying lower than other buyers. That's kind of the best way to tackle a choppy pair like Euro Pound. So yeah, I like the opportunity, but also keep an eye on that second one, just in case we do spike higher. Andreas, yes, we'll take a look at UK 100. Haven't really been keeping tabs on that one. Two UKs. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I was speaking about UK 100. I think it was last week. I mentioned that it would be nice if we could spike back into this area here, tap it, and then possibly look for some buys. I was very, very close, to be honest. We didn't quite make it there. Let me just get it to the wick high, just to be double sure. Yeah, we didn't quite make it there, so that's unfortunate. I don't trade UK 100, but if I was, I would be looking for a breaking test here for some buys because we were moving in this descending channel. I said if we can probably take up these lows here because there will be a lot of early buys trading at support there since we were holding that. Push back down, test the lower end of the channel, test the lower end of the support level. Didn't quite happen, but we got close and then a big reaction break and structure to the upside. So what's next for UK 100? I'll be expecting a lot more upside. This to me just looks like a standard retest of some resistance there alongside with that channel. So I'll be looking at higher low coming in. Delete the wrong thing there. I'll be looking at another higher low coming in and continuing that trend to the high, at least back to this high here, but most likely the high up there at 84.74. So yeah, with UK 100, I'll be very, very bullish on this one. I think this is a really nice place to be looking for entries. I think even that candle there, either this candle here or that candle there, could make up for a nice entry. Stop loss underneath the low. Looking to target the high. And again, if you're looking for a bigger trade, you've got the swing high up there. So I think this is looking like a really nice opportunity there for UK 100. A lot of boxes being ticked. Higher time frames looking good. You're seeing momentum in favor of the higher time frames coming in really, really strongly. Looks like we've broken through the channel pretty well. Strong close down the daily chart. Probably strong close on the weekly too. If I delete all my drawings, you can see the weekly as well. Really big impulse there to the upside. Pull back, a lot of consolidation. Doji, doji, doji. Small body candles. Big wicks to the downside there. Taking out a lot of traders underneath this low. Then closing strongly bullish. So that momentum is likely to push us back up. Now it looks like we're coming back for a retest of this area here. And you got the swing high there. So yeah, in terms of confluence, in terms of box being ticked, there's a lot of boxes being ticked here for UK 100. If this was an FX pair, I'll be all over that. But it's a really nice setup, and I would expect price to push on. Now, again, nothing's 100%, so I don't want anyone risking their whole account in that position just because I talked it up so much. But it is a really good opportunity. Good opportunities can still fail as well, so you still have to have your risk managed. But in terms of what I'm seeing, it ticks a lot of boxes. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing there with UK 100. US 30 is kind of giving us some situation as well. Breaking retest of that area. How is GR 30? GR 30 is looking. This one's looking too great actually, so I'll probably just avoid this one in general. Actually, I mean in general, it's pretty bullish still, but I don't know. Finding a good entry there is looking a bit complicated. So yeah, I would avoid trading that. I think UK 100 looks good. US 30 looks good. S&P and NAS, they both look good too. What's up, Lauder? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. You still holding on to your US 30 position? I mean, it hasn't progressed too much since we last spoke, but I think it's still looking really, really good. Okay, you are. Nice. So yeah, it's looking really good. It looks like it's come back for a retest. I think we briefly spoke about the possibility of re-entries here. I'm not too sure. Do you do additional entries to your positions, to your winning trades? Do you look at scale-ins or not? Some people do, some people don't. Scalings is always a tricky thing because you're adding risk back onto the trade, especially if you go to break even with your original trade. It's like, okay, I've gone to break even. Now I'm adding another trade. Now the risk is back on. So, if that second trade fails, then I'm kind of walking away with a loss, even though I had a really nice winning position ready. But then again, if it does play out, then you've got two positions working twice as hard for you. You're walking away with potentially, double or 1.5 times the profit. So I think there's a big skill behind it, adding to positions, and the psychology as well needs to be on point too. Because there will be times where you add to a winning position just to see price completely reverse as soon as you do that, and you walk away with a loss, and maybe you break even on the original position. So you have to be very comfortable with that. But then, of course, when it plays out big time too. Follow the trend. BTC. Yeah, I did have a look at BTC yesterday. I haven't looked at, haven't gone through it on stream, but I did see the rejection. It's looking awkward. I'm not gonna lie for Bitcoin. Longs, I'm not really feeling longs. I'll touch on why in a moment. Okay, added 40428. 40428, 40428. Okay, so that's around here-ish somewhere. Yeah, looking really good, I must say. Looking really, really good. If you do come back down again, could be a nice additional entry as well. But yeah, I think in general, US 30 is looking really good. Looking really, really good. Nice to retest that area. I think at least we can expect to push back to the high. Whether we get back to here or not, that's a different question. That's up to the market itself. But there's a good chance we get here, and then we see what US 30 does. But I'm pretty bullish on this one. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of BTC, we had a big rejection of the high yesterday, which I do not like at all for the buyers anyway. So I've been talking about this descending channel we've had for a while now. So if we connect the dots here, we've got the lower highs up there, we've got the higher lows down here. Higher lows down here. And what I'll be mentioning with Bitcoin is that, okay, we've got a really nice impulse here. The market rocketed to the upside, looking really good. Then this kind of looks like a big bull flag. So we had a correction. I expect price to be on its way. However, we're failing at the high there at the moment, looks for a third time. So yes, it has been pretty bullish, but now kind of struggling at the high here. That's kind of an area where we could sell off again. I understand that the market's been trending nicely here, but what I mentioned yesterday is that I want to see price break out of this. If it does break out of that, then I think the buys are very much on. If you can see a nice strong daily candle closure above that, then yeah, pullbacks, corrections look really, really good. And yeah, we can go a long, long way with this. But the area we're trading right now, for me, is just not a place to be looking to buy just yet. Unless, like I said, we get a nice break and retest, then yeah. On the flip side, looking for price to come back into that could be a lovely place for a buy. But right now, especially with yesterday's candle, big wick into the high, rejection, close bearish, like a shooting star. This could be a really strong sell signal, and we could see another swing back to the low there. So yeah, Bitcoin has moved well, but it's starting to struggle. And if it keeps it struggling up, so we don't go and break it, maybe tomorrow, or maybe Thursday, or at some point this week in general, we could be seeing a massive sell-off there for Bitcoin. Back to 56, 55, 54K. So yeah, at the moment, not looking good, I must say. If we can break 70K, then I'm all for the bulls, because at that point, this flag pattern has come to life, and then I expect, all of the momentum we kind of had here to kind of be, spit out on the other end, basically. But at the moment, we're failing. So I think there's a good chance we do something like this, actually. How's Ethereum looking? I don't know. Ethereum's looking just look a bit awkward, to be honest. Can make a bit more sense of Bitcoin. But yeah, it just depends what we do here. Break, yes, I'm very bullish. We don't break and we just hold, then I think we're selling off. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Bitcoin. And Temel, yes, I do have time. Dolly, and we'll take a look. So yeah, Dolly Yen's actually a pair on my watch list. I'm looking for some sells with this one, and buys actually too. Just depends which one comes first. If we push down to the lows here, I'll be looking for buys. If we push up a little bit higher, I'll be looking for some sells. But yeah, I do want to see a bit more upside there for Dolly Yen, because yesterday I was mentioning a retest of this low, looking for price to come into that, retest that structure. And then I'm looking for some shorts. And of course, targets, pretty straightforward, back down to the swing low here. at around 151.979. So dollar yen looks pretty clean to me. I like dollar yen. I've been mentioning out of the yen pairs, dollar yen shorts look good. Euro yen shorts look pretty good too. And CAD yen shorts look pretty good as well. So you can see this one push up a little bit higher. But yeah, dollar yen sells look good. And if I go to the weekly chart really quickly, we can see lovely resistance over here. This is now going to be acting as support. So to me, that looks like a nice place for a long as well. So it's a case where I might be selling to buy it later, but I don't think I'll be buying to sell it. If you push down now, yeah, I think that's kind of it. If you push up a little bit higher, fantastic. Retest that level, look for some sells, and then buys sooner enough later on. Same thing with euro, looking for some sells around here, and then some buys later on. There's a massive level on the weekly chart we haven't tested yet, being this level here. Lovely resistance around 164. I'm looking for price to sell off into that area, and then I'll discuss some buys later on. So that's kind of where I'm at with euro yen in terms of CAD yen as well. Looking for some sells at that area, and then probably buy as we come back to the low. Since again, if I go to the weekly chart, we're trading in a massive level of resistance here, which will be turned support, of course. So the yen pairs have had a really big move down, but they've come into some big levels on the higher time frame. So I think we're going to see some buyers step back into the market and take them to the upside again. How far they go, if they continue the trend, that's all a question which I don't really have the answer for. But in terms of as a smart place for a buy, it makes a lot of sense to me. So just staying patient for that. But yeah, dollar yen, this is what I'm looking at. Really nice structure there. High after that low, then you had another low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So the plan is looking for a lower high again for another push back to the low. Very, very straightforward things. So yeah, in terms of our watch list, dollar yen shorts and longs are both there. Just waiting for dollar yen to get to my areas first. Euro yen, same thing. Just waiting for entry signals really, because euro yen's kind of there, but I do want euro yen to spike a little bit higher before I do look for a short. But relatively speaking, we're kind of in my area, so I'm keeping a close eye on euro yen. Euro yen's on the watch list. CAD yen's on the watch list as well. Looking for some sells on the retest of this low here. And then, yeah, looking to sell it back to where we came from. Possibly some buys later on. Pound USD, I really like pound, but I do want to see this one push to the downside one more time. And then find some buys later on, possibly back to the swing high there at 1.304. But the structure looks pretty straightforward for me. Impulse, correction, impulse, another correction. So all I'll be looking for is that next impulse back to the high and possibly beyond. Gold I do like, but I want this one to sell off one more time before I do find some buys around 23.67 or 23.40. This is an area which I'm looking to buy from. This is kind of just bearish territory for me. I'm not really interested in selling gold, but if you are, makes sense at those prices. And then, yeah, pretty much straight onto the CHF pairs. CAD CHF looks really good to me. Let me delete this. So, yeah, really good to me. Lovely bearish structure there in the 4 hour. Lovely move down, pull back, move down, pull back / consolidation. Another move down, looking for a pullback, and then for another move to the downside. So I really do like what I'm seeing there with CAD CHF. Euro CHF, get rid of that. This one looks pretty good as well. Looking for the retest of that structure for another move down. And Aussie CHF there as well. You got your clear, obvious low. Looking for a retest of that, and then for some sells. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my watch list. Very yen and CHF heavy, with a couple dollar pairs in there for a bit of balance, if you will. So my eggs are not all in 2 baskets. No problem, Temel. Okay. In Turkish. Didn't know. I was wondering the language was from. I thought it was like German. Is anyone else in any positions at the moment? And by the way, guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, of course. Thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed so far. It really does help out. Make sure you also hit the bell too so you don't miss out any streams uploads in the future. And check out the Discord, completely free to join. It's linked at the top of the chat. You cannot miss it. Feel free to join discussions there, share trade ideas, chat to other traders, chat to myself, and discuss prop firms as well in general. So if you haven't joined, make sure you go do so. But yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get into a position before Wednesday, ideally. But I don't know. I could do. Because the closest ones is like pound USD. Let me get rid of the drawings. Pound USD, if it pushes down again, could get a nice little buy there. Euro yen could get a sell, but the thing is, selling any of the yen pairs right now, you're playing for a little bit of fire because we do have the Bank of Japan interest rate at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sure, it's still a while away, but at the same time, like me, I'll be holding trades overnight. My targets are already hitting one day. So, yeah, I'll be holding into that, and it's always a sticky situation, especially for yen as well. But yeah, it's not my first rodeo. I'm happy to hold through news overnight. Used to lose sleep over that, but now I'm pretty calm and collected. But yeah, it's never fun though. It's never fun. I'd rather be awake for it. But yeah, that's the only kind of dodgy thing with the Bank of Japan. Other than that, Fed interest rate is late in the afternoon, so I don't have to worry about too much during the day. Then Thursday, you got Bank of England, but Bank of England, I don't really worry about too much. Can definitely move the market, but again, a lot of news can move the market. And then yeah, NFP on Friday. I can't remember. Well, last NFP wasn't much, was it? I remember we covered the last NFP on stream. I don't remember it being much. I feel like it was very anticlimactic. So yeah, NFP isn't something too scary at the moment. NFP goes through phases. It goes through phases where it's moving a lot and it's big, and it goes through phases where it's not doing much. We're kind of coming into that phase now where NFP hasn't done too much because I think for the past two NFPs been a bit dead. I don't know. I say this now, and then maybe NFP is gonna be crazy on Friday. Still, definitely an event you watch out for because you don't know. It could do a 30 pip move or it could do a 100 pip move. You don't know until it happens, so you still got to show it respect. Our curious question: do I speak any other languages? No, I don't, unfortunately. Yeah, it's only English at the moment. Only English. I know, horrendous. I do need to add another one to the list. RK videos, GJ. Yes, we'll take a look. Okay, so yeah, for GJ, as I mentioned, no, that's CAD JP1. For GJ, as I mentioned earlier, looking for some shorts, but I do want to see some retracement. So we do have a lovely level here at around 200.338. So I want to see a correction into that level, and then I'm looking for some sells afterwards. But yeah, I mean, the analysis is pretty much the same thing for all the yen pairs. We had big drops last week. We're looking for corrections of that, and then expecting that to continue. In terms of areas of interest, we do have a lovely high over there. So that's kind of where I want to see price push into. If I whip out the Fibonacci, I think it lines up with the 0.618. Almost, it's kind of in between the two, but at least it's kind of a healthy pullback at least. And then we can find some shorts back into the low and possibly beyond that as well. Kind of like a big head and shoulder pattern on the daily chart. There's your left, there's your head, and there's your right shoulder. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for pound yen. But for now, pretty bearish. How's euro yen doing? Yeah. Needs one to spike a little bit higher first. Same with dollar yen as well. Sudais Gaming, pound USD. Okay, we'll take a look. So yeah, pound USD is a pair on my watch list. I'm looking for some buys. We're trading at a really nice level at the moment. All I'm kind of waiting for is just some really entry triggers to get me into the trade for some buys. But if I quickly highlight the structure, you can see we had a lovely impulse over here. Correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. So I'm looking for another higher low for another push back up again. So really, straightforward stuff. Now I'm just looking to try and find an entry for it. So what I've been looking for is another move down, retest that support, maybe a nice little double bottom, nice rejection, maybe see some nice wicks, and that could be a lovely little entry there to take the trade on and then ride that back to the high. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on for pound USD. Not too sure if it will happen or not. We need to see that move down first, and then we can see what happens on a retest. But yeah, looking for some long entries. Hope you find another rejection at that low. And then yeah, I'll be trading stop loss, trading my stop loss. Hopefully, swing it back to the high, and if we're lucky, we've got the high up there. But that is the pound for pound. Order, yes, a lot of news this week. A lot of news. Exciting and scary at the same time. You just got to stay on top of it. Okay, appreciate it, bro. Thank you, Sudais Gaming. So yeah, you just gotta stay on your toes. Make sure you're not buying or selling directly into big news, especially on the lower time frames. If you're trading with like 15, 20 pip, 30 pip stop losses, you're going to be at risk. And even smaller than that, you'd definitely be at risk. If you're day trading, it's actually can be a bit of a blessing because then you can just trade in between. So if you know there's going to be a big news at say 1:30, you're either trading before that or after that, and you want to avoid holding a trade through that. If you're swinging, then you would have naturally a bigger stop loss, so you would be a bit more okay to hold through news. But even then, you have to be a bit careful. In my case, I think the only two news events I'll be very, very switched on for is going to be NFP and the Fed interest rate on Wednesday. Bank of Japan will happen whilst I'm sleeping. So, and if I don't get trade on, then I don't have to worry too much about that. Anyway, but yeah, the Fed and NFP I'll watch out for. Bank of England on Thursday can move the market for pound, but again, it won't be anything too crazy. It mostly isn't unless something crazy happens. If the Bank of England does something really, really unexpected, then yeah, we could move crazy. But most of the time, it's a fairly reasonable move, maybe a little 25, 30, maybe a 40 pip move, maybe 50 on pound yen, which is pretty big, but nothing career ending. So yeah, I think if you're on the lower time frames, be careful, make sure you're aware of it, and try not to trade directly into it because that's when spreads are going to widen. Chance of you getting slipped is pretty high as well. If you can plan your trades before or after, you should be good. And then normally next week will be good as well because momentum's coming to the market this week, and then next week you're kind of seeing the aftermath of everything, which normally leaves behind good opportunities. So in general, I like it when we've got a lot of news. Sure, it's a little bit awkward when trading it, but it normally gives the market a kick, gets it going. So at the moment, it's a little bit dead because I feel like we are just waiting for the news. Okay, Tamil, Aussie New Zealand dollar, not a fan favorite, but we'll discuss it. So yeah, what is this market doing? Again, we've been in this range for a long time. It looks like price is trying to break the range, but at the same time, it's not a convincing one. So I would not be so surprised if this is just a bit of a fake out for price to trick some traders above the high and then absolutely sell off. So as I've been mentioning on the daily and the weekly chart, I want to see price just make things clear. And what I mean by that is give me a really strong bearish candle breaking back inside the range. So I know that this is a fake out. Therefore, I know we can expect a lot more downside next. Or really just push away. So I know it's a breakout, and then I'm looking for pullbacks and upside. And then maybe we can target the highs up there. Right now, it's kind of 50-50. I'm more leaning towards the side of it just being a fake out because the candlesticks here haven't been convincing enough. So I would expect it to be a fake out and price to push back in, but I need that confirmation first. And then we can discuss it in a bit more detail. I mean, right now on the daily and the 4 hour, kind of just ranging here. So this is kind of what I want to see happen. And then, yeah, opportunity on the retest make a lot of sense. If I drop the 4 hour, something like this will look good. And then you can look for your pullbacks and a retest of that. And then, yeah, we could probably be seeing a lot of downside at that point if this is just going to be a big fake out. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Aussie New Zealand dollar because this price action is chaos, just sideways. If it is going to trend higher, then we're going to see a big breakout higher. Then, of course, you've got a lovely level to buy from there. If this is just a big fake out in the higher time frames, probably going to commit to the downside, look for a pullback, retest it, and then continue that momentum. So that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie New Zealand dollar. It does look like it's a big fake out waiting to happen. Just need to see price come back inside that range, and then I'll be expecting that momentum to come through. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. 100%. Let me put that message up in there. And if speaking facts there, do not forget to leave a like, guys, and join the Discord channel as well. Again, completely free to join. It is linked at the top of the chat there. But guys, we have come to the end of the stream. Of course, I will be live again tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that as well. A lot of busy stuff tomorrow, a lot of news, a lot of speaking points. So it should be interesting for the rest of the week. I really do appreciate my moderators for helping out, helping me moderate the channel. Really do appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate everyone else coming onto the stream, talking with me and discussing some ideas. But if you guys have enjoyed it, please be sure to drop a like. It does really help out the channel. Thank you to everyone who has done that so far. Subscribe as well whilst you're at it, and make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, have a fantastic day. Do have jolts, job openings in the afternoon. Nothing crazy, but could definitely move the market a little bit. So keep an eye out for that. But besides from that, take care, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.